Good evening and welcome to the school committee meeting of Tuesday, May 27th. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and we have our friend Loretta here going to sign it for us. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you very much. That was excellent.
Thank you. Wonderful job.
And now we'll move on to the acceptance of the minutes for the meeting of May 12th.
Motion to approve the minutes for May 12th.
Second. All those in favor? That's a vote. And we'll go to the audience for the Phelps Curriculum Corner.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelsey Holbrook, acting principal at Phelps Elementary, and this year we have been really digging into engaging our students and empowering them to make choices. And by tonight, I am honored to present Miss Angela Salmonte, third grade teacher, who is going to give you all the great details of what the third graders have been working on this year to have some cross-curriculum work to engage them in all of their learning. Ms. Salmonte.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for having us tonight. I'm here to present the Phelps Elementary Curriculum Corner, and like Mrs. Holbrook said, our Phelps mission is that students will be active, engaged participants in their learning. They will move, create, interact, question, and think deeply about their learning. For students to achieve high-level thinking and learning, instruction must be meaningful and engaging. With saying that, we started a nonfiction unit in both reading and writing, and as you'll see tonight, it lent itself to being a cross-curricular experience for all these students. So without further ado, I have friends from the Garden Pod. We have 8 classrooms in third grade, and the Garden Pod has 4 of those classrooms. Tonight I have Loretta, Alice, Ryan, Maddie, Logan, Chip, Weston, Kalia, Lane, and Griffin.
Task for this project was to go onto the Rockland Zoo website. We looked at all the animals that lived there. We then had to decide which animal we would choose and check in with our teacher. We also went on Epic, which is a website with nonfiction texts to help with our research, as well as looking at library books.
Once we choose the animal for our project, we had to do research. We had a packet like this with topics that helped narrow down our research. Then we took notes on each topic that we found from the Franklin Park Zoo website, Epic, or library books. After finding all of our research on the topics about our animals, we then needed to take our notes and turn them into sentences. We had to come up with an introduction, add supporting details, and write conclusion. Then we turned the sentences into paragraphs.
Finally, once our paragraphs were written out, we were able to work on Google Slides and type them on our Chromebooks. After the typing was out of the way, we were able to add photos, interesting facts, change fonts, and add text features.
And here are some of our presentations that you will see from Alice, the Blanding Turtles. This is an example.
Blanding Turtles by Alice Almeida.
So here's the table of contents, and I think she has a question for the school committee.
Where do Blanding Turtles live?
Where do you think they live?
In Rockland?
What do you think, Alice?
Blanding Turtles. Do you know where you can find Blanding Turtles? Blanding turtles live in the northeastern United States and southern Canada. Blanding turtles like to live in water and land. They live in grassy marshes with shallow water. This is where you can locate blanding turtles.
Do you have another question for them?
Do you know what blanding turtles live?
Do you know what they eat?
What they eat.
Anybody know what they eat? Do you want to tell us?
Many turtles eat different things. Blanding turtles eat aquatic insects like tadpoles and worms. Blanding turtles eat crayfish, snails, and frogs. They also eat fish vegetation and berries. Blanding turtles feed on land and water.
And one more question. Do you think
They are endangered.
they are endangered?
I think most turtles in this area are endangered, right?
Yes, blanding turtles are endangered in Massachusetts.
I got all those answers wrong.
All right.
I was thinking it's been so rainy, they're probably very happy.
And then next we will look at the ring-tailed lemur. That was the other slideshow.
Ring-tailed lemurs by Loretta Marie Jolson. Ring Table of contents. Introduction, slide 1. Where do they live? Slide 2. What do they eat? Slide 3. How do they protect themselves? Slide 4. How long do they live for? Slide 5. What are their babies like? Slide 6. Glossary, slide 7. About the author, slide 8.
So she has a question as well. What's your question?
Do you know how ring-tailed lemurs protect themselves?
Anybody want to take a guess? Let's see.
Do they climb a tree or climb something?
Ring-
Go ahead.
Ring-tailed lemurs have powerful scents on their wrists and chests. Male lemurs have horny spurs on each of their wrists. That's how ring-tailed lemurs protect themselves in the wild.
Do you have maybe your joke?
What's a lemur's favorite type of music? Swing music.
All right, we'll get back to the presentation. Thank you, Loretta. The original presentation. Sorry about that.
In art, Mr. G and Mrs. Pro helped us design animal posters during our art time. We were able to use crayons, markers, or watercolor paint. Here are some examples of our work.
Beautiful.
That was great.
During math, we are working on a Design a Zoo project. This project had us map out animals exhibits and find the area and parameter of each one. We also created a list of animals we would need to purchase with $5,000, a schedule of events that would happen, and added up our money our food court would make as a profit.
In a couple of weeks, we will be going to the Franklin Park Zoo to see our animals in real life. It will be fun to search for our animals while we are there.
Finally, on June 11th, our parents are invited to come into our classrooms for an author share. They will be able to view our slideshow presentations and artwork we created.
Thank you all for having us, and we all hope you enjoy your summer.
Well, thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you for the information, but I'm most impressed by how brave you are to stand up and do this presentation. So very well done. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
And I'm impressed by your high school level research skills. I had done this lesson 30 years ago, and we only had books from the library. The fact that you're getting information off the internet, places like Epic, so you have digital and hard books, that's huge. And your tables of contents are excellent. The beginning, the middle, the end. Again, all this foundational stuff, it travels with you. Keep reading. Thank
Nice
you.
job.
That was excellent.
Bravo.
So while they all clear out, I just wanted to shout out to the WRPS team that's in the back doing the slides and all of this.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate them.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to hire them as summer interns to do my PowerPoint presentations.
Those were cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That was great.
And jokes and questions and everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just think that you wouldn't know they're just third graders. All right. Are we ready to move along, everyone? We'll go on to reports with financial reports for the school department, Rockland High School student activities, Rogers Middle School student activities, and food services.
4 motions to approve the financial reports enclosed.
4 seconds.
All those in favor? That's a vote. Next, we have building rental report. It was enclosed, and as always, it's unbelievable how diverse our schools are being filled with different things that are renting the building. So
Busy places.
Very, yeah, and all different kinds of things, so we appreciate that. Any comments or questions?
It is dance recital time. May and June, so I love to see that just
Yes.
from our daughters both
Right.
dance, so
I
that
have
is
one
a
word,
great
though,
time.
when I hear that, only word I think of is glitter.
Glitter. Yeah.
No glitter.
Sequins.
Glitter.
And then we'll go into department head monthly reports. We have the athletic department with Mr. Kimball, the art department with Ms. Thompson, the computer technology with Mr. Wells, consumer science and phys ed with Ms. Newcomb, Dean with Mr. Damon, English with Ms. Donovan, foreign language with Mrs. Tabers, math department with Mr. Casagrande, the middle school with Mr. Griffin and Ms. Thomas, music with Mr. Piazza, radio and TV station with Ms. Breeden, science with Ms. DeCanzio, social studies with Mr. Rowe, special education with Ms. McGonigal. Any comments or
They are great
questions?
reports.
A lot of information.
Love to see what everyone's doing, especially outside of the high school, looking at the middle school reports, just all the field trips, all the events, the socials, the just busy calendar that all the schools have, so. So 15 motions, if I counted correctly,
You
for the
did.
monthly reports.
15 seconds.
All those in favor? That's a vote. Now let me just catch up on my paperwork here. And we'll go on to completed fundraisers. We have 8 completed fundraisers. We have the class of 2026 did senior lawn signs. They collected $1,781.35, and they had $761.35 in expenses, so they profited $1,020. Rockland High School tennis did a raise 3065. They collected $1,065 with no expenses. Rockland High School boosters did the mattress fundraiser. They collected $3,005. 272 students for bonuses for net profit of $2,735. The Rockland High School boosters did the Harlem Wizards basketball game. They collected $29,804. They had $11,840.31 in expenses, so their net profit was $12,963.69. The class of 2027 and 28 did a Hilliard's candy bar sale. They collected $3,200. They had $1,600 in expenses, so they net profited $1,600. The class of 2027 sold blankets, Rockland blankets. They collected $700 with $489 in expenses, so the net profit was $210. This is like my math skills. Speaking of saying money. 2 more. We have the class of 2027 did spring garden fundraiser at Rockland Garden Center. They collected $350 in profit. And the class of 2027 also did a seniors last day goodie bags for the seniors. They collected $1,015 with $615 in expenses, so net profit was $400. So congratulations to all of that fundraising. That's some great money earned for all these end-of-year activities. So that was very cool. And we'll go on to new business. We have transfer student school rank with Ms. Shipper.
I'm going to stand in for her
Okay.
tonight on this. So we had how this came about, this first change, we're asking for two relatively small changes to the student handbook, which has already been voted on. The first change came about, we had a student who transferred here, and because of our current language, her GPA from her work in her previous school was not allowed to be calculated toward class rank and toward, in particular, being a member of the National Honor Society. So the proposal is to allow the student's GPA from a former school, say they freshman year, sophomore year, or at another school, allow that to be calculated toward class rank. So that is the change that's being asked for. And it also talks about dual enrollment courses. Previously, if you had principal permission, then the credits could be used toward class rank. Now they will be listed on there, but only with permission. The new language says dual enrollment courses will be listed but not factored into GPA or class rank. So I support both of these recommended changes. And again, if the idea was we had a student who moved here who had an excellent freshman year, and yet it couldn't be calculated, so it didn't affect her rank, and then it kept her from being in National Honor Society. I believe she ultimately did make it in the National Honor Society, so it was moved. But I think it just raised the question. So that's the first change that's being asked for. Secondly, valedictorian at Rockland High School we always waited till the end of term 4 to calculate valedictorian. Makes it very difficult. It's late. There's a lot of running around. Most schools close it at the end of term 3. That is the change that we are asking for here. So at the end of term 3, they would calculate valedictorian, be able to cue them up, they can start writing their speech, blah, 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 blah. So those are the two changes that are asked for, and I can answer any questions you might have about either one, but I do support both changes that Cheryl's asking for, that Principal Shipper is asking for.
It sounds more like an update as opposed to like real changes. It's not,
Well,
how long has it been since any changes have been made to any of this?
This has been in
Place
this
forever.
way for a long time.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, but it is a change, and it does affect class rank, and so it does require a vote of the school committee to make a change to the handbook. The student handbook is second to the schedule, perhaps, the most important document that a high school uses to operate. It determines all kinds of things that ultimately have monetary value, so they can become legal issues. So the student handbook is a very important document. So it may sound like a small difference, but it really is. It's important. So I appreciate their attention to the detail.
Do we see a lot of change in rank and GPA from term 3 to term 4? Is this going to potentially change who is the top spot, or is there just a quick question, and in terms of, I think the most notable one is term 2, right? College submittance and acceptances go off of a lot of term 2 items. So between term 3 and 4, just curious if
I really would hesitate to answer. I really can't say either way. Yeah. I can't say that it couldn't, kill it in term 4 and in an AP course and it changes their rank. But I think that as long as everyone knows the rules from the start, then it's fair. Right. So I think the issue is when you wait till the end of term 4, it just becomes a little bit manic for those who are doing all the work
and for the student who's waiting to know if they're valedictorian or not.
There's so many. They start working on graduation the day after graduation, so it's a lot.
Is it the faculty or the students that are wanting this change? It's the faculty?
I would say it's more faculty driven. Yeah, I'm speculating.
Right.
I don't think the students care, being quite honest.
I'm nervous about that person say 2 students are neck and neck, and now they have that one extra term to sort of edge out one way or the other. And by cutting them off in 3rd term, now we've sort of taken that chance out.
Right.
But they could go off of where you are in term
Term
two
two, yeah.
to edge them out in term three. I think, Dr. Cron, you said, like, if it's known that it is going to
From the
be after
start.
term
Right.
three, they would put their best effort in to elevate any grades
Yeah.
that they would need term three.
I think if you have any questions whatsoever about it, though, I think we should table it.
I mean, I'm
And have more people talk about it, if you have any reservations about it, because it's not a huge thing, but I think the process we go through to make
Right.
changes is important.
And I think it keeps us more current, if that's the right word.
Well,
That
so-
word I'm looking for in my head, I can't figure it
Yeah.
out, but
I
yeah.
didn't print it out, but in
small-
the write-up of this
Yeah.
proposed change, I
Right.
think there was some due diligence about what the schools in our area did.
Yes.
So
Yes.
maybe it's
Correct.
even
Checked with about
talking
8
like
different
that.
districts, and
Yeah.
Right.
most are doing it this way.
That's what I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
But again, even if there are questions that you want to ask, or you want us to poll some students, or we want to talk to, I highly recommend, there's no hurry. Like, we can hold off the printing, the handbooks, really. So if there's any hesitation, feel free to table it, it's totally fine.
I don't have huge hesitation, I don't know.
And you don't either.
No, I
Okay.
don't think so.
That's
I
the
mean,
answer.
I mean,
That's
it's
why there's always
just,
an argument.
asking those questions, because class rank is very,
Oh.
somewhat
Right.
important, and I mean, I think,
Absolutely.
if class rank changes with term four,
Yeah,
that basically is for colleges when they get their transcript, if it changes. I mean,
If you
know,
bomb.
if you were number one in term
Yeah.
three, but then you fall to number 5 in term 4, you're still valedictorian. You like
Yeah.
those things, like, I don't know.
I don't think it affects the college process,
Yeah.
because kids are applying now.
Right, yeah.
Right.
In September, October, November,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So, but I do think, and I don't think the valedictorian thing has necessarily a monetary value. I think it's just an honor
Yeah.
that some kids shoot for, right?
Right.
There are kids who are in
And I
7th
think-
grade, they're like, I want to be
Right.
valedictorian,
And
which
I
is
think in
awesome.
some grades, that they're, the valedictorian is way far ahead of the other students for whatever reason. And so there's no sort of race in the game, right?
Yeah,
But I would think that that's not every class, every year. But I guess, like you're saying, they're gonna pass whether they're, so you're right.
in the 4 years that I was principal, it was close every year.
Right.
And in fact, one year, my first year, we had a tie. 2 kids who were best friends,
They still are.
and they still are, and they were co-valedictorians, and it was awesome. But it's always close, because I don't know, it's important
To them.
to some students, their rank is
Right.
very important. If Henry says class rank to me one more time. But in high school, it becomes a thing.
It's a thing, and they
It's a
pay
real
attention
thing.
to it.
They
You
do,
know,
and I'm
I've
glad
heard
they
that in
do.
my household as well. So,
But I think it would
We
bring a
don't
level
discuss.
of joy to term 4.
What's that?
I think it might bring a level of joy to term 4 for a lot of kids, because I remember too,
That
there's the
pressure.
stress and that pressure
Right.
all the way to the end. And so, like, as a parent, just thinking about, it's done, now
Right.
we're gonna keep going on and enjoying. And as a teacher, sometimes when you lift that pressure off, you get some amazing things,
Absolutely.
and they get to try some things that maybe they didn't try before,
And many
because
have
they're not
done
worried
away with
about that.
valedictorian.
right.
Yeah.
Many schools have done away with it
Yeah.
because of that reason, and they instead have students apply to be the speaker, the class speaker.
Right.
And so again, it's
Something
It's-
we should address, I'm just kidding.
it's,
All right, well then, I'm good.
I'm okay.
Okay.
All right. Motion to approve the 2 changes to the RPS, RHS handbook.
Second.
All those in favor? That's a vote.
thank you.
And thank you for answering our
Yeah.
questions.
No, gladly. It's-
We will move on to the paraprofessional contract.
Yes. I'll say a couple words and then let Jane speak as well. We have over 100 paraprofessionals in the district. They are critical.
They're amazing.
They're amazing.
They are
They're critical
amazing.
to our work, and most importantly for everyone to know, their role has evolved over the past, I've watched it evolve over the last 20 years, but particularly over the past 10. The work that they do in the social, emotional, with communication, with supporting the teachers, with working one-on-one with the students is extraordinary. So we are very grateful for the work of our paraprofessionals, and I always begin the negotiations by thanking them, but I want to thank them again. Extremely important. Thank the union and their work to represent, and we're very, very pleased to have settled the contract with them.
Yes.
And ratified today. And Jane, you want to add?
Sure, just, brief overview, very excited for them, and they have certainly earned this. There is a adjustment in year one to become more competitive and consistent with our neighboring communities. 183rd day was added. The teachers work 183, and previously the paras worked 182, and this provides lots more opportunity for consistent scheduling of professional development, especially around safety, et cetera. They also will be paid for their lunch break. They were the only unit that did not receive a paid lunch. They'll now receive a paid lunch. And we made a slight adjustment to the substitute policy, where rather than going in half-an-hour increments, if they substitute for a whole day, they'll receive $50, and then if they become a day, and then if they become a long-term sub from day 11 on, they'll receive an additional stipend of $75 a day for that. And then it's 2.5% and 2.5% for years 2 and 3.
Excellent.
Excellent.
So I also want to say ditto what Alan said, because I do think they are huge to this district. We wouldn't be Rockland without them. From just everything they do. They do sort of all the extra things in our district, that the teachers are busy doing other things, and this team is the team sort of behind the scenes of everybody else. Whether it's one-on-one with the student, whether it's supporting a teacher or supporting the principal, we are just so lucky to have them. We're lucky that they come here every single day, and we couldn't do it without them, so.
And they're an amazingly diverse population of people with amazingly diverse backgrounds and, degreed and so forth. And having worked with a lot of people over the years, they were willing to train in whatever we were doing. So in some cases, they got as much training as the teachers did, and it was so helpful. And they're amazing. They're like the backbone. They really are.
I agree. They were just really lucky, so I appreciate them, and thank you very much.
All right, then motion to approve the ratified paraprofessional contract.
Second.
All those in favor? That's a vote. And now we'll go on to surplus technology.
This was itemized in an attachment. This is a yearly exercise that we go through with technology. Are there any questions?
I have no questions. I have learned over the years, I think I say this every year, that if it comes up that Tim Wells is saying it's dead, it's dead. I remember my first year asking, and they're like,
I was like, what's a Bojan? What is this digital
can't we use
card?
that monitor?
Right.
No,
We were
it's
just
dead.
told overly loved. We
Right.
needed to move on. Yeah, overly
Well
loved.
put.
All right, then motion to approve the surplus technology.
Second.
All those in favor? And that's a vote. And then we have one homeschool application. I have a question, if you
Yeah.
want. Okay.
Sure.
So it's a homeschool application that it's May. Were they here? Were they in Rockland, or were they just moving to Rockland? Do we know?
I think they just moved, and I think they're really wanting to prepare for next year.
Next year?
Okay.
So, that's what I said. But I think they've moved here. They want to get it in, make
And
it.
be ready?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So-
I just wanted to make sure that we were supporting them how they needed to be supported. All right.
All right, then motion to approve the homeschool application.
Second.
All those in favor? That's a vote. Now we'll move on to Dr. Cron's superintendent report.
Thank you. It's the end of the year, so we're into ceremony season. It's amazing. And last week, Phelps and Eston as well, but Phelps had their Memorial Day ceremony. And I want to thank the police department, the fire department, our veterans agent, for being such a great partners with us. And we had every student in Phelps in that glorious space for that ceremony. Mr. Papatic playing his trumpet, the children singing, the recorders were vibrating. Jane was telling us when to stand up and when to sit down. It was awesome. We had it dialed in, but it was great. So thank you for that. I want to wish Rich good luck on his first Philly trip. as
Oh.
principal, and he is very excited about that, and we're excited for the kids. I can't imagine how excited they are for that trip, that Philly trip. And finally, tonight is night school graduation, and I know we'll read their names, but we're very proud of them and happy for them, and happy to provide, be a part of providing that opportunity for them. So congratulations to our night school graduates, and Val Mulready does such a great job leading that program, and so we're very proud of them. And that's all I have.
Excellent, thank you. Jane?
I don't know. Just good luck on the last month of school. I know we have maybe 2 school committee meetings left in the year. Good, and seniors enjoy this last few days of great activities. I know there's underclassmen academic awards coming up next week. Philly trip, a lot of good field trips across all the schools. So just enjoy all the activities. And thank you to the teachers who are organizing it all and chaperones. We thank you as well. All right.
Yep, thank you. Ditto. And same thing, like, I remember teaching, and this was like my favorite time of the year because you got to do like what the kids deemed as the fun stuff. It was the memorable things. And it's a great time to also reflect and look back on things that they've done since September and the amazing amount of growth that you've had. And sometimes you don't realize how much growth there is until you step back and you look. So enjoy these last few days, step back and take a look, and hope everybody has a great week.
All right. And I have the night school graduates' names. It is an honor to be attending this tonight. It's very special, so I will read them. Patrice Ann Burley, Thomas Raymond Finnegan, William Stanley Fitch, Paulina Gomes Hunter, Diamond Lee Ramos, Eric Spring, and Layla Marie Walston. So congratulations to all of you. When we go over there shortly, we just, are very proud of you and very excited for you. And that's all I have.
All right, then motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? That's all right. Thank you.